What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Big 12 Team Builder Dynasty, year number 3 off-season. This is episode number 2. We are here at the recruiting stage of the off-season. We're going to be covering all 12 teams, and first and foremost, A is the first letter of the alphabet, so we're going alphabetically. We're going to look at Ardmore.
No, you're third. You're third alphabetically.
What?
ACU Amarillo go ahead of you.
What the frick? Well, I guess we're the most important.
You're the user team. You get privilege.
Yeah, user team privilege right here. Okay, so leading this thing off, Trey Day is our number 1 prospect, but we've pretty much got him in the bag, unless Ohio State or Texas wants to totally vault over us and get him. You guys will notice one thing here. Jason Gibbs, there will be a couple guys with zeros as we are just, I feel like we're just way too far out of it, and there's more important positions that we need. And of those positions being defensive tackle and corner and linebacker and defensive end, we're covering it all. Gerald Anderson leading Shreveport by 775 points. We're putting 1,800 on him. But the guy with the most at 3,400, Carl Boyd, 5'11", cornerback out of Forest Hill, Texas, number 6 in the board. Got to get this guy. Got to nab this guy because our defensive secondary is not looking too good with losses like McQuarters, McKinley, McCool. All the Micks are going to be gone. So we're going to be adding another Mick and Brandon McKinney. Hopefully, we are in third place right now, 1,300 points, putting 2,800, trying to double up our efforts. And then Jeff Cooper, the number 2 defensive end. We're over $1,000 ahead of McAllen. It's a 2-team race, though.
Yeah, and Jimmy Bergstrand, that's a big one inside the state of Oklahoma. You got Jamar Diggs down there as well at safety, so you're trying to make a comeback on him. He's really interested in Amarillo. And you got a couple offensive linemen down here, I think. Sherman?
Yep. Albert Sherman is the number 12 center. I like what I see out of Sherman. He might be a very solid value guy. James Graves, we're ahead of Colorado right now for another middle linebacker spot. And you'll see, like I said, you'll see a couple guys here with zeros. I feel like we really need to focus on the other positions there too. And there's some of our signs going into this offseason episode right there. Not many. That's why we're really trying to hit big on our top guys. I know some strategists might say like you need to hit on some of your high 60s and go from there, but you know we're going for the Hail Mary.
All right, here's the deal for Nebraska State. I think you guys know by now we got Shane Pryor, the JUCO tight end. I'm looking forward to using him in our offense. I think he's going to be a big get. And then Bubba Robinson might be the future at quarterback. Brody Clement, we're going to see what position he fits in when we get to the position changes, so I'm excited about that.
Bubba Robinson will be the future of the position of 9 quarterbacks.
We'll whittle it down.
He's going to be one of the 9.
Evan Towns is our big target right now. We need to repair the offensive line. We lost a lot of guys to graduation. He would step in as a true freshman and be better than some of the guys that were leaving at offensive guard. So, yeah, Colby James, JUCO, I want to get him. You got to get Anthony Hines out of Nebraska. You got to defend the home turf. Daryl Brooks, an athlete. We're in a battle with Camu. And then Jason King, a linebacker. It's between us and Illinois. We did get custom recruit Eric Washington. And then looking on the board, I mean, we got a lot of these guys after that upset win against Denver Tech. And then this guy I'm interested in, a 5'9", 176-pound athlete. So I'm going to make a move on him. I think he might be a gem. He seems like he could pan out. Joe Sloan, we have not signed him yet. We're barely ahead of Iowa. So we're definitely trying to get Joe Sloan, get those big corn-fed Midwestern guys playing for Nebraska State.
Hard hitters. Next up, ACU. Hassan Bonner, putting $9,000 on you, sir. We don't want to lose you to Denver Tech.
Yeah, no, he's 5'9".
Penn State.
Yeah, 5'9", 205 at his size. Yeah, he's super fast, but
big.
He's got these thighs of steel, which explains his weight. So he's ripped. His thighs are like the size of a tree trunk. He's like a Barry Sanders. I mean, that's kind of what everybody compares him to. So they want to get him really badly. I think they would adjust their offense. I think they would feature him more if they did get him. So he's their big target. And if they don't get him, they do have this guy here, Joel Young. But if they don't get him, they want to get this guy, Matt Gross, out of North Carolina. Buchanan Simmons, they're going to punt on him and leave that between Denver Tech and UBA. This guy, though, they do want to target John Johnson. We got another John Johnson. How about that? And a lot of these guys have already signed earlier. But yeah, they are putting all their eggs in that basket. Luke Smith, they do need a quarterback to fill out their depth. They have Lewis Jr., a custom recruit, waiting in the wings, but they need a couple more guys there to fill out the depth chart. And that will do it for ACU. They've had 2 really good signing classes before. So, this year shouldn't be that much different.
All right, Amarillo time. Brandon Lee, Aaron Culver, 2 guys that they signed during the season.
Yeah, and Lee, we talked about him, out of New Mexico.
Yep.
Number 2 running back in the nation. That's a big get. D'Anthony Akobo, the Notre Dame transfer. They're trying to pick him up. Jason Gibbs, big-time safety. Again, we talked about him as battling with Ardmore and Kansas State, who had a great season. Recruiting for them, I'm sure, is going to be up. This guy, Justin Davis, do you think they need to get him?
It depends on how Galveston progresses.
Right.
And honestly, Justin Davis would not be too bad of an addition to this team. Musselman gets his guy at quarterback, can kind of decide at that point if he's going to start the true freshman or redshirt him or give Galveston the job. There's going to be a little bit of a quarterback controversy here, but yeah, between Little Rock, Odessa, and Amarillo, they could all use Justin Davis.
Yeah, and this signing period is going to be tough for Amarillo. It's always tough when you have guys that were in contact with the coaching staff that's no longer there, and it puts everybody in limbo. And they're like, well, now what do I do? I was leaning like Jamar Diggs and Bradshaw and Alvarez. They like Joe Barry. They've been to the school. They're leaning that way, and now you get this Brock Musselman guy who is, kind of a lunkhead, a little bit of that kind of personality. So it's a bit of a culture change going on here. Ed Moss, we were talking about this guy 6'7", and he runs a 4 what? Something stupid.
It's like a 4.2.
It's crazy. And Jimmy Flynn, offensive tackle. Chichi Montoya, custom recruit. They want to get Chichi Montoya. He loves Amarillo, so we need to nab him. And that's going to do it for the Armadillos. All right, another team with a big coaching change is Broken Arrow. They have Todd Orlando taking over, and it's going to be a different kind of feel.
It's a defensive-minded guy.
Right, and how that's going to play in with the Bryan Street news, we're going to break it here, folks. Bryan Street has declared for the NFL draft.
He is no longer a Broken Arrow Wrangler. He'll be an alum.
I can't believe it. But you know why I think he declared?
You can't?
You know why I think he declared? I think he was scared. I think he didn't think that he could handle another year. I really think that's why he declared. He wants. It's like you're cashing in while you're ahead. Okay.
Well, he didn't want to go.
He didn't want to go through this change with Broken Arrow for the university. Okay.
Well, who would?
His heart was not in this decision. It's all about the money. And guess what?
Wow.
Guess what? He didn't have enough confidence in himself that he could withstand the changes and play well up to his capability.
I'm going to go the other way, and I'm going to say he had enough confidence in his own ability in order to take it to the next level, to the NFL, because what left does he have to prove on a team that he can't help? He can't help this team. There's nothing that he could possibly do in order to do that.
Yeah, well, you know what? He reminds me of some other Heisman quarterbacks from recent memory. You think Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, maybe Lamar Jackson, jury's still out, but guys that win the Heisman don't necessarily translate to the pros. Keenan Timmons, okay? I don't have confidence in Bryan Street.
I see what you're getting at.
I'm a doubter.
I see what you're getting at, but he's had doubters his whole entire time here at Broken Arrow. But
that's true.
Yeah, so that news is breaking. He's no longer going to be a Broken Arrow Wrangler. He's going to the NFL. And now Uba's got a plan for the future, and
that's where Lamont Christian comes in.
Exactly. And Buchanan Simmons and Jimmy Bergstrand. And
yeah, so new crop of guys. Broken Arrow's been recruiting very well. My shade at Bryan Street aside, which is all in good fun. They've been recruiting very well the last 2 years, so they do have a base to work with for this new coaching staff. And I mean, they're gonna have something to prove because their coach just left them in the dust. So, but again, these guys are in limbo right now. Buchanan, Simmons, Bergstrand, Coles, guys that already signed, and now they're like, whoa, I signed with the Big 12 champion team, and now they're cleaning house and their coaching staff. Like, this is not what I signed up for. Michael Williams, athlete, got a battle going on with Camu. Larry Johnson out of Oklahoma. I've got a good feeling about this guy. Receiving tight end. I don't know why.
He's got a very generic name, and
Larry Johnson.
I think that's why you like him.
I like generic names. I like everybody, except for Brian Street. No, I'm just kidding.
Marcus Coleman, the number 72 corner, so they're digging way deep down here for some defensive back help.
Yep, get some help in the backfield there. What do you think, Jay Evans or Coleman? Who should I put more points on?
I think you're good.
Bam.
I think you're good right there.
Let's try that. All right, let's check out Denver Tech. Had a kind of a cold end to their season, but a big bowl win, so hopefully that'll boost them with their momentum for recruiting here. They got Nick Burns. They've been in a tussle with Ohio State all season long for the number 1 athlete in the country. Hassan Bonner, they're not going as hard as ACU, and I think the logic here is that they feel like their offense has a better stylistic fit for Bonner. So I think that's their pitch. The problem is they can't invest as much in Bonner as ACU does because they have Burns and this guy Andre Brandt to worry about. And they really want to get Andre Brandt. I mean, if you could hurt Texas and you can hurt Ohio State, like you gotta take a crack at it. So yeah, we see down here we have training in. They're gonna need some offensive line guys. They already have signed a couple, like Nicholson and Copeland. And down the line here, Colton Yo, doesn't really help Denver out too much right now, even though he is from Denver. So Midland is really going after him. So Denver's not going to invest any resources in him.
He can kind of do it all a little bit. Play corner, play wide receiver, running back. So
he's custom recruit. So
makes sense for Midland.
You know, Denver wants to go big. They don't have any use for guys that are in their 61 freshmen, true freshmen. They don't have any use for that, right? They want to win national titles. So they want Burns, Bonner, and Brandt. The 3 Bs.
Camu going hard after Evan Towns, the number 5 guard, just like you guys are.
Well, they could be going harder, but I see a very balanced recruiting approach for Camu.
Yes, they're going after Darrell Brooks at 1,000, Roy Hall at 1,100, Willis. Yeah, they like to go after everybody with a balanced approach, not spreading themselves too thin, making an impact where they can, the guys that they really want, and seeing what sticks.
Custom recruit. I think they should get him, but I mean, LSU is in striking distance, so that is concerning. But yeah, I think Camu, hopefully they get a couple of these guys.
They know what they want.
Yeah. So they do need a tight end. I saw on their list they're missing a tight end, so they're going to need somebody like that. Linebacker's going to help. They really do need to retool the defense a little bit. Doesn't need a major facelift, but
they did have a lot of guys leaving.
Yeah, they need some fresh blood there.
All right, let's take a look at Little Rock. Justin Davis, we talked a little bit about him, and pretty much going a little further with the analysis here. They need a guy like Justin Davis just because Gunner's going to be a junior next year, and he might decide that he wants to go pro as well, and they don't really have a backup option after that.
Yeah, he's probably gone. So they need to start thinking about that down the road in a couple years. Brandon McKinney, they're in a tussle with you.
Yep.
And Andre Baker is a good linebacker out of Georgia.
Number
I think
4.
they need to get him. Chris Dennis is kind of the backup plan. He's more of a scrambling type, though, at 244.
He's a big dude. That's Cam Newton-esque.
Yes, it is. And Matt Smiley at 6'5". So they like their big passers for sure. Jonathan Hamilton here, a defensive end. So
Reggie Riley going hard after him.
I got a good feeling about this guy.
I know you say it every week.
Yeah. Jason Gonzalez is a guy that a couple of our team builder teams are looking at hard in the Big 12 East. So that would be good to poach him from those schools, and that'll do it for Little Rock. So I'm interested to see how that quarterback situation is going to turn out once we get a little bit farther along in this video. New coaching staff at McAllen, and we talked about that. I mean, new coaching always brings challenges, different styles, but they want to kind of reassure some of these players that they are making a good decision by going to McAllen. Now, Dan Frazier, I don't know if I should put more on him. I don't know if I have enough points, though. It's to really do that. Like, Travis Henry's going to help them out a lot because Galarza's gone. They need a defensive tackle in a bad way.
Well, and that's the big thing here, too. It's like you just mentioned, you're probably spreading this out because of the coaching change. How is that going to affect the playing time? How's it going to affect the play style? Like, how does all of that affect in the new coach? How does all that affect with the recruits?
Yeah, like RJ Jackson is a guy that might fit their offense better. He's a 6'2 speedster. Dan Frazier's a bigger guy. So they want to put more on RJ Jackson and hope that they get him. James Bennett, they got to get from Notre Dame. He's out of Florida. And then we see down here a little ways Isaiah Gray at defensive end. A couple guys, like they need some more bodies. So yeah, we are reaching down here a little bit for some of the lower ranked players. But I think McAllen at the end of the day should end up being an okay class here. Let's check out Midland State here with D'Anthony Okobo. We talked about him. He's transferring from Notre Dame, and he went the JUCO route. He's looking at Midland and Amarillo. It's a big Texas showdown there. Antonio Hall, they have to get this guy. Got to poach him from Texas. He's out of Portland, Tejas, the number 4 quarterback. And we talked all the time. I mentioned every time Midland comes up here, they have a deficit at that position. They need to get him. They need to get Caleb Talley, who is a JUCO, but he's a body. You know, he's a 75 overall. He's going to help him. Justin Brown, center, out of Nevada. That would
Number 1
right?
center, by the way.
Yeah, they definitely want to get him. And then Colton Yo, they want him very, very badly. Louis Smith. They do need more offensive linemen as well. They have signed some guys, though.
Look at all these corners. They got Sean Birch, Derek Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Francis, Tony Morgan.
They've signed a bunch.
Yeah, and Ryan Gilmore. Like, man, I would die for some of these cornerbacks.
Yeah, I think what we're hoping for is that some of them might be a gem. Something like that. They're going to need it. All right, here's a team that really barely...
Barely. All
right, here's a team that probably doesn't even need to sign anybody else, but since they have 11,500 points, might as well try, right? Justin Davis. They're not investing in it.
Dude, I'm just amazed by this. All these freshmen are 75.
Yeah.
They're going to be really good.
They should be very, very good. They want to go after Brian Cooper because they're losing their top 4 receivers. They have one of their top receivers back, and they have Paris Austin, the top JUCO player in the country, coming in to take over the number 1 spot next season. So they do need more receivers. They do have new receiving coach, Braxton Austin, who is known as a recruiter. Maybe a dirty recruiter. We don't know, but that's what his reputation is. Colby Austin is the cousin of Paris Austin out of Cave Creek, Arizona.
So he has his eyes set on Odessa, playing with his cuz.
Yeah, they definitely want to get that thing going. No doubt about that. And then a couple more guys on here. Michael Moss, they want to get Matt Jefferson. I mean, why not? More defensive depth, you know? And that's like...
Even these mid-60s, high-60 players are still going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Are they going to get cut, though? I hope they don't. But
they probably might.
Yeah,
they probably might.
This should be a great recruiting class. Hopefully a sign of good things to come for Odessa.
Shreveport time. Jordy Davis, 78 overall. That's the most points that they have on a defensive back. If we look over to the middle linebacker spot at 75, Andre Baker at 2,800 is the guy that they're really wanting to go hard after. They've never really had a big time linebacker, and that's the guy that they are really looking at to be part of their future plans. But they're going to have to beat out North Carolina State and Little Rock. It's going to be a tough thing to do.
That'll be hard. Well, Ryan Bradshaw down by 1,000. It is a pipeline stay for Shreveport. Hopefully they can get him, and then Taiwan Davis. They're in second place. So the focus for Shreveport hasn't changed, okay? They are laser focused on the defensive side of the football. That's their identity. That's what they want to do. Nobody's going to stop them, okay? It's trendy to go offense. They're sticking with
what they believe in.
Yes, absolutely. Jason Browning out of New Jersey, they want to get. Mark Douglas, more linebackers. This guy's been signed since the preseason. He's a 4-star athlete. But, I think Shreveport, hopefully they seal the deal on those upper guys on defense, and they they have a good class. So now we are going to skip ahead here. We got the prelude out of the way. Let's get right into signing day. Bring it on.
Signing day is officially here, guys. Bonner, Young, and Gross, the three-headed monster for running backs. Are they all 5 stars?
Yep. You think they're going to start running the ball more?
I think that they think that it's a good idea. They might be thinking that that's the way to win championships.
Yeah. Buchanan Simmons goes to Broken Arrow, so he does betray Ardmore and the local fan base there. They did get John Johnson, and as we go down the list here, Jason Wilson, a JUCO, nabbed him. Colby James, they got him right under our nose. Almost went to Nebraska State, but he will be going to ACU. They got Chris Dennis, the Miami.
Wow, that's huge for them.
Yep.
That's big time for them. They needed a quarterback.
Yeah, and they took him right from Little Rock. Luke Smith was ready to sign, but apparently maybe his grades weren't good enough. Or maybe he's going to Arkansas Monticello or Northwest Missouri State or Youngstown State or something.
He might have seen that James Bratton signed as well as the other quarterback that we were just mentioning and decided that, playing time is not going to be an option for me. And neither is Minnesota. And I just really don't want to go to those other Big 12 schools.
Yeah, so maybe that means he went to the FCS. I don't know. But I love that name. I wanted to get him. Oh, well. And down the line here, hey, look, Jason Gonzalez goes to Little Rock. They're going to get some offensive line depth down there. So this guy probably won't even make the team. But I wish you luck, sir.
Armadillo time. D'Anthony Okobo not going to Amarillo. Jason Gibbs not going to Amarillo. And Justin Davis. He is also in the similar pool of not committing to anybody, but we're going to do something special for Justin Davis since Amarillo was in the lead. We're going to go ahead and take the worst freshman that they do get in this recruiting class and just remake Justin Davis as signed to Amarillo. I think that that's fair. It's just the game is kind of dumb in that regard.
I don't know if it's you run out of scholarships or what. I have no idea how they decide whether
they should. But what they should do is that they should assign it by overall.
Right.
They should filter it out by overall.
I don't know.
And then run out as your scholarships.
I don't know what the explanation is behind how they decide who's a zero and who's a commit. They do get Orion Bradshaw, Paul Alvarez, and Ed Moss. So this class, I think, actually turned out pretty well for them. They did get custom recruit Chi Montoya out of Laredo, Texas. And I think it's a class that Amarillo can be proud of, I would say.
We got Trey Day, the punter. It's going to be needed because Dalton Beebe is now gone. Jeff Cooper. Heck yeah. That's a guy that we wanted from day one. Guy's a freak. Number 2 defensive end. Didn't get Jason Wilson, but that's okay because we did get Brandon McKinney.
You got Carl Boyd, too.
Yes, and we got Carl Boyd. That's a huge get as well. Beat Nebraska up by 2,800 points. Didn't really stand a chance to get Jason Gibbs. Got Gerald Anderson, McKinney, Bergstrand. That one hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
We absolutely got slaughtered by Denver Tech.
You weren't that far away, though. So maybe Denver Tech maybe they poisoned the well and spread some nasty rumor about Tremaine Young or something.
That really, how do you get that close to Bergstrand and then lose by 15 grand?
Yeah.
It's really, really odd, but that's okay because we ended up getting Jamar Diggs as well. So we're rebuilding that defensive secondary and a lot of the other positions here, D-line, linebacker, guys that we really wanted to go after. We did not get our center, Albert Sherman. That was a big-time guy that we wanted. William Rowe, going to be a good player on the offensive line. David Dunn, James Graves, two more linebackers. Ken Jackson, good corner. And Jake Coe was a guy that I was looking at that I wanted to. Luke Davis, another middle linebacker. And we got another wide receiver, Eric Lane. It's going to be interesting to see what his 40 time is. And then some depth guys, we're just going to have to see how they grow. I'm not anticipating much out of these guys right here.
All right, let's check out UBA. Broken Arrow here. We talked about it. They got Buchanan Simmons. Denver Tech with Jimmy Bergstrand is that's just a big-time upset.
Yeah,
nobody saw that coming.
Out of nowhere.
James Coles lost to USC by 380. That's a tough one there, but I mean, they filled it out pretty nicely with these guys here. Michael Williams, they're going to beat Camu for his services. And then down the line here, they had Davis. I'm trying to remember if They lost out on the running backs up here, but they don't really need them. Do get Dan Smith, Jay Evans, and they got Coleman, so it's okay for Uba. I think last year's class was a bit better, but I don't know if you're worried. Are you worried about this class down the road?
Down the road, yes, but as to who's playing quarterback next season, probably not. Lamont Christian, I think we can do okay. I think this rivalry is starting to become more evened out now. That Ardmore's kind of fallen off a little bit. Broken Arrow's kind of getting a little bit more experience and getting a little bit better with the talent level. So it's not going to be so one-sided anymore.
Big time class here. They did get Nick Burns. Missed out on Bonner by 2,700 points. Andre Brandt was the other big one to poach him from Texas. Number 7 athlete. Be fun to see where he fits in. Apparently he can play a little bit of quarterback. I don't know if that fits what they want to do or not, but maybe an interesting fit either way. They did get Chris Taylor, lost out on Tranigan, but Taylor's a good get out of Denver, so that's to be expected. Colton Yo and Colby Austin, we'll talk about that in a little bit, go to Midland State. Kelvin Hicks, tight end, and they got Thompson and a bunch of guys down here, so I mean, it'll be fun to see where Denver Tech, how this class stacks up against the rest of the country, because I think it's going to be a top 10 at least. What did you think? Big class?
Big class yet again for Denver Tech. The train is not stopping. Camu loses out on Evan Towns. You guys saw that from Nebraska State. James Coles, weren't really even in the running for him. Albert Willis, we did get this guy, 75 tight end. Going to be a big-time playmaker for them in the future. Roy Hall and Evangelo Jones. Defensive secondary was kind of an issue for Camu heading into this year number 4, so it's good to see that Evangelo Jones is going to be an Amber Wave player. And Roy Hall, wide receiver.
Yeah. This guy's been giving us issues. Tywon Davis he's been into Ball State like all season long. We've been trying to say like, hey, dude, don't go to Ball State. Go to the Big 12.
He wants to go there.
And, you know, at times we were in first this season, and then Ball State creeps up, takes over, and hey, you want to go to Ball State? Go to the MAC. I love the MAC. More power to you. I wish you well. But
it's an academic school. He wants to go to an academic school. I mean, look at the schools he had up on the board. Michigan, Illinois.
I really wish he went to the Big 12. Oh, well. Sidney Garcia. That was a tough one.
Yeah, that's okay, though. That's all right. They'll make do.
Harold Reed Jr., custom recruit.
Very, very big time gets, because now that they have more weapons with Doug Flores in the backfield, now Harold Reed Jr., also got Jameel Carter. So Camu, yet again, is going to be having an offense that is explosive.
Absolutely. And then down the line here, they did get Josh Carter and Robert Owens. And I think it'll be an okay class for Camu. We'll see how they stack up in a minute.
All right, so we talked about Justin Davis, how he did not commit. Ended up going to Amarillo, but Little Rock lost out by 120 points. Brandon McKinney going to Ardmore, only lost by 355, so it was a very close battle. But Jack Johnson, Andre Baker, that one hurts going to Shreveport, because they really needed, both those teams really valued Andre Baker's leadership. Chris Dennis, kind of that backup option if the quarterback Justin Davis didn't sign, and Chris Dennis is going to ACU, so he's going to go to the other Arkansas school.
Yeah, Matt Smiley, I mean, they've had him for a while. At least they got him. Reggie Riley, they lost out on.
That sucks.
Yeah. Marlon Butler out of Nebraska, they did get. They squeaked by Camu there. So that was good for them. You got some defensive guys. Yeah, you got some guys in the 60s at least down here.
It's a decent class for Little Rock. I feel like they could have done better.
Definitely. All right, so that new coaching staff for McAllen, we'll see if they sealed the deal here on some of these guys. They did get Dan Frazier out of Texas, lost out on McKinney and Cooper. They get Travis Henry, the JUCO, should step in right away and contribute. That one sucks. They wanted RJ Jackson really bad. He was a good fit for this team, and they could not seal the deal.
It's kind of got that Barrett Love type of size.
Yeah, and they get Chris Brandt. They do manage to haul in at center. James Bennett was a big get. Justin Brown ends up choosing Midland State. And we see down here, some more guys in the mid to low 60s. So I think they'll take it. You can't be thrilled with it, but
the coaching change had a lot to do with that, and
could have been.
Leroy Jackson will probably get his guys, especially on offense, probably next season.
Yeah, this is a nice foundation to build around up here, though, for sure. These five guys.
Oh yeah, no question about that at all.
All right, big gets for Midland State. They have to reconstruct that defense basically from the ground up. So they did manage to haul into Anthony Acobo, Antonio Hall from Texas.
Can we have some of their corners, please?
Yeah, Antonio Hall, that's a big get for them to beat out Texas for that. Caleb Talley, the JUCO safety, they're going to get. They did haul in Justin Brown, as we mentioned. And then all the way down the line, you see Colton Yo's there. He's going to come in right away and play. You got some more offensive linemen. So this class actually worked out for Midland. Like, these guys are going to redshirt them, get a year to learn the ropes. I think it's going to be a good deal for Midland State. Man, it was not as good as I had hoped with the way that we beat Denver Tech and had a lot of momentum. A lot of guys were happy to sign with us. Did not really translate in the offseason because Colby James, Anthony Hines, and Darrell Brooks are not going to sign with us, and neither is Jason King. And neither is Joseph Peterson.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Look at the guys that you did get, though. Bubba, you really believe in this guy. Brody Clement, Evan Towns. This is a good building block recruiting class. I mean, look at the other guys that you got. It's high 60s, a wide receiver, Daniel Bryant.
Yeah, the problem was we didn't do anything with our offseason recruiting. We lost out on basically everybody we wanted to get other than Towns.
Right.
We've had so much invested in Towns, but Myers goes to Wazoo. Dougherty by 10, are you kidding me? Oh, we got Jeremy Alvarez. I did get him. And we did get Joe Sloan. So that's okay. I'm happy about that. But
I think you did. I
really wish we could have gotten the other guys.
I think you did pretty decent, yeah.
Odessa State here. We're going to see how they did, if they could get any of these guys. Jared Hobbs is not going to sign. We might have oversigned. I think maybe we let out too many scholarships or something.
I think that really has some. I think that's what it is.
Might have something to do with it. Brian Cooper goes to Ohio State. We lose there. Colby Austin going to Midland. So you got to figure. Now, here's the question.
Especially when those two are rivals.
Yeah, now the Austin family is
split.
Well, yeah, they're kind of hot-headed a little bit, but they're also kind of contrarians, and they like to buck the trend and annoy people. So you got Colby, who's the cousin of Paris and the nephew of Braxton, going to their arch nemesis when Braxton thought that Colby was going to Odessa.
Yep.
So what's going on there? Was there some kind of internal family drama that we don't really know about?
Some beef?
I mean, feel free to speculate in the comments about what Colby is doing here, sending a message.
What's the play?
Yeah, what is the angle there? Did not get Matt Jefferson, and I don't think we got anybody that we wanted in the offseason. I don't know.
Well, they
might have signed so many people that
it had a really good class, man. There wasn't really anybody left.
It was amazing.
So what did the Skeeters do? Paris Mack. They got Paris Mack, the strong safety, 77. Got Jordy Davis. Gerald Anderson they lost out on. Caleb Tolley lost out.
That one stinks.
That one does hurt a little bit. They wanted Jason Morris. I believe when we scouted him, he could do it all.
Yeah, I mean,
it was either him or Josh Cook.
Just to lose him to Louisiana Tech, that's tough. But Andre Baker, like you're talking about,
it's a big one.
He seems like he's got the intangibles. He could be a great linebacker someday. Samson Stewart they've had. Tywan Davis again just went Ball State really hard. Joseph Peterson going to Midland over Shreveport. That's an upset.
Yeah, from Florida.
Yeah, and I mean he wasn't really on the Midland radar, right? It was between Peterson. It was between Shreveport and Nebraska State. So no one knows what happened.
Midland just swooped in and said, "Here's that bag of money."
The bag of money.
The bag of money.
The
joke.
all-powerful bag of money. So nobody else for Shreveport other than Andrew Jones.
We'll see how he does.
That's going to do it for signing day. Let's look at how the classes stack up.
All right, top class time. And did you think it was going to be anything different? Odessa State. In what world does this happen?
A 4-8 team gets in the best class of the country.
What is that? What is that? You got to start asking questions, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You really do. You got to start thinking, like, what, if any, role did Braxton Austin play in this? Because the ink wasn't even dry yet about him taking the job. This was around the time they played Midland. Like, there were rumors floating around. Nothing really concrete yet. And then you got the wide receiver coach that was on staff who's thinking, like, what's going on? Why am I going to lose my job? My receivers are good, right?
Yeah.
It's not the receivers coach's fault that Odessa State was having a bad season. But they're still talking about bringing Braxton Austin on board. What's going on here at Odessa State? What is happening?
Nobody knows.
And if you guys watch our basketball series, you would know that Odessa was coming off of sanctions against their basketball program.
Yes.
So what's going on here?
Yes.
These are the questions that need to be asked.
Yeah, you can't just accept it and just say, "Oh yeah, Odessa State, you're doing a good job." Turn the cheek.
Yeah.
There's something happening here, because when you're looking at Ohio State and Alabama, number 5 and 6, like Denver Tech and ACU, I can see it, but 4 and 8, Odessa is the number 1.
Hey, I'm just saying, this is like when Ole Miss came out of nowhere and started recruiting the crap out of everybody. It started with Houston Nutt, and then it went into Hugh Freeze. I'm just saying. So yeah, Denver Tech comes in second, ACU third. ACU gets 5 5-star players and 3 running backs. So yeah, you think this team's not going to be loaded still? It's still going to be loaded.
I think Coach Deloach understands that in order to win games, you're going to have to go back to the basics.
Yep. Midland came in 7th. And, I mean, they did a really good job across the board. They got the running backs. They filled in the holes at corner. It's still going to be a weak spot unless they have like 3 gems that really surprise people. It's still going to be a weak point for next season. Hopefully it gets better. It definitely will get better down the road. Uba came in 8th, even with the coaching change.
This is actually very, very impressive to me, because given that a lot of these players were on Broken Arrow's list with Alfred Johansson at the helm, now he's gone, they still convinced Buchanan Simmons to come on board. Yeah. And that was their biggest get for sure. Brandt being the other quarterback.
It'll be interesting to see how he factors in. Ardmore came in 10th.
Yeah, which is very surprising to me. I think what really pushed it over was the Cooper signing, the 1 5-star. I think if we didn't get Cooper, we'd probably be like a 15th rated class. But I think we did it. I think we did a good job spreading it out, being a very balanced approach. Address some things on the O-line. See that running back there, Horn. Defensive back was probably the biggest hole that we faced, but overall, it was a pretty good class. Late as well. We didn't do a good job early.
No quarterbacks.
No quarterbacks.
Maybe next year. Oh my God. Nebraska State.
I said you guys did well.
What?
Yeah.
I can't believe that. That's surprising to me. Yeah, Brody Clement coming in as a 5-star recruit. Kind of surprising there. People make fun of me, my love for Bubba Robinson. He's coming in as a 4-star athlete, though. I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, this definitely beats the last 2 years, and I guarantee you that, we signed 21 guys. You got 2 2-stars. Probably looking at about 19 players that are probably going to get on the field. I can't see myself redshirting the majority of this class like we usually like to do, because we usually can't get the athletes, and we usually try to let them grow inside the system for a year, but can't afford to do that next season. We got too big of goals, and the guys returning on the roster aren't quite that great. Okay, but McAllen checking in here. I think the top of the class is really good. They did manage to sign 12 3-stars, so that's pretty solid there. I mean, another top 15 class. So really, the Big 12 is the new SEC. Okay, we dominated the recruiting rankings. Absolutely dominated.
Everybody wants to go there, man.
Yep. Shreveport only signed 12 players in this class, but it didn't have to be a big class because they didn't have a lot of room on the roster, a lot of returning players for the Shreves. So.
They made it count.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see what we got down a little ways. Amarillo comes in 37th, 17 players.
Well, it's actually not that bad, all things considered. when you look at Amarillo's record, when you consider the coaching change again, and it was going to be this way. You expected it to be this way. In getting 3 4-star guys, 2 being offensive, Bradshaw and Evans, and then you pair that up with Brandon Lee, it's a pretty good class.
Yeah, it definitely gives them something to build around. Let's go down a little ways of Little Rock, 42.
Kind of anticipated this one, just didn't have a lot of quantity and not a whole lot of quality.
Yeah, and again, like Little Rock and Camu, Camu lost more players than Little Rock, so to sign 12 players is not that great.
It's a little disappointing.
Little Rock had less room on the roster, so they managed to get 13 players. And let's see if that is it. I think that might be it. So Camu looks like they had the worst class out of the Big 12. Yeah, I can't see us being down here.
Nope.
Correct. So Camu comes in last.
All right, guys, let us know how you feel your team did with the recruiting classes that they had. Who are you most excited about going into year number 4? What are some storylines that you're looking to follow? And again, what do you guys think's happening with Odessa State? Put that in the comment section below. We'll see you guys in the next video where we will be covering position changes, training results, and we have big news as far as Cameron Willis and Rhett Bollinger's decision on where they are going to go.
It'll be in the next episode, so be sure to check that one out.
Yep. And we are still reading through your guys' customer recruit requests, and we will have an update for you guys in the next few weeks regarding that, in the next few uploads, and we'll let you guys know who made it and who did not. So that's going to be it for this episode. Leave a like if you like this thing, and we will see you guys in the next one. As always, peace.